I mean, I kind of learned how to make cheese the same way I learned how to play the guitar, really. Not by studying the masters, but just sort of working out how to do one little thing and then changing it a little bit. What's the basic? Can we make any cheese? Can I be a camembert or a cheddar or maybe a little triangle?
I think we're going to make cheese the way you learnt to make cheese, right? Is that we're going to, it's going to be trial and error. Like we're setting up a cheese cave specifically to age it in. We're going to get some organic milk from a great farm, and then we're going to introduce your bacteria into that milk. And when we start creating, you know, the curds and whey, and we go through that, so we don't exactly know.
Okay, brilliant. Well, this one's I've already had a sniff of this one, so well, you can tell it's been a busy morning.
That's good for me.
So whatever bacteria is in there is going to be added to the cheese. It's going to knock out all the nasty bacteria, hopefully.
It's actually a good question. Like we will find that out later on, because there will be one that will be counterproductive.
Right.
And then there are hopefully a few ones that will make the really good cheese and knock out the other ones, the bad ones. So Tom is getting on that one. It's all in his hand then later on.
Okay. Well, I need something that melts nicely, really, for the big festival. That'd be nice.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
So Michael, I'm super excited. How did the cheese get on?
So once we got the cheese from Helene, we basically took it into the lab and then we broke it down and we took the bacteria out and we basically used these tiny little beads to break them up, because often these bacteria are quite strong. And then what we did is we took the DNA out, we amplified it, and then we sequenced that DNA. You can look at this as a scientist and say, I sequence the cheese and I find all these strange bacteria, but you don't look at any other cheese in the supermarket or anything like that. So it's like you don't really know what is in your food until you look. Until you look at it. So it's quite easy to look at this cheese and say, I wouldn't eat it because of what it was made from. But when you're making cheese, you also use your hands and things like that. So it's like, what bacteria do you get from that? But you just never look for it in the first place.
Yes. The big question is, Michael, is like, are the V&A going to allow it through the front doors? Is it safe to put in there? Can I eat it?
So I'm sure most of the other things that they have in the V&A are not necessarily completely sterile. I think we're kind of bred in this environment where we think that things have far less bacteria on them than they actually do.
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily completely safe to eat, at least, but obviously lots of people have been handling it and they haven't become sick or anything like that yet.
Thank you so much for doing this. It's amazing. It's time to get it off to the V&A, so.
So you made me a Cheshire. I'm a Cheshire. I heard.
Helene.
Hi Alex, nice to see you again.
This is quite exciting. Oh my word. Oh my word. It looks like cheese. Look at that. It's a good job.
Not bad for a first effort.
It looks like a Cheshire. It's Britain's oldest cheese.
That actually smells.
It smells
just like cheese.
I mean, you'd want to toast it, wouldn't you? Really? I don't think you'd want to just go straight in there. But I think that would slice up nicely as a canapé. Sugsy's blue. Like, you never want to be judging new blues at cheese competitions. Very, very hard to get blue right. And Professor Green's mozzarella. Is that?
He insisted to be a mozzarella because he hates cheese.
I mean, like, come on.
Wait till Professor Green tries my Cheshire. Well, he might change his mind. Why has Heston got the biggest one?
Yeah, it's
what we got there. It's a Comte.
So it's washed in bacteria.
Okay. Really, you want a kind of alpine bacteria for that, not a kind of
celebrity chef.
You might be getting a bit of propionic fermentation there. I think you might. Do you think is it starting to rise a little bit? It's a phenomenon of the Middle Ages, cheese making.
Really,
yeah. Because everybody lived in monasteries or walled communities with very little contact with the outside world, so they all worked out their own ways of preserving milk. That's why cheese in Cheshire was so different from cheese in
Lancashire.
Yeah, and they're not very far apart.
Yes.
It's kind of a miraculous thing. The way that milk coagulates, the milk does this incredible thing that it's a liquid that will turn into a solid.
Yeah.
And if that was something that was stumbled upon, but if it was discovered today, it would be hailed as a major biotechnological breakthrough. So actually, it's this sophisticated science that was done since the mists of time. But I think even the pharaohs of Egypt, who were discovered buried with different types of cheese, I doubt any of them had the feather in their cap that was a cheese made from their armpit bacteria.
So we figured out yesterday your bacteria. So we have sampled your whole microbiome. And it actually says that 20% of the bacteria are definitely your skin bacteria.
Oh yeah?
So it definitely worked. And nothing is in there what would kill you, I guess. But like, I'm not sure how tasty it is. So we don't have the full approval to be edible. But they said like on your own risk, theoretically, we could actually try it.
So it's not going to kill me, but I might have to have a lie-in tomorrow.
I guess there is like a small possibility if you have any allergy against any bacteria, but it's a tiny chance.
That it might kill me.
But probably can happen is that you get some diarrhea, maybe. But that I guess
That's
the worst
part and
case
parcel of
scenario.
being a rock musician, if I'm honest.